Gamers, what's the most emotional moment in a video game that you've had? Playing Halo Reach with a group of friends at the tail end of summer before college. We wanted to beat it on Legendary in one night. 40 vs setup in my friend's barn the way we'd been doing LAN parties since Halo 1. We did it, and we reached that final mission. Survive. We gradually died one by one, but there was such a desperate energy to stay alive, to keep the game going. It was the last time we ever played anything together in the barn, and I think we knew it would be. I nearly teared up when the last of us died. We could all feel it was the end of an era for us. I've been playing the Animal Crossing series since I was 4, starting with Gamma Cube. When I was 7 I got a Wii and City Folk, which I played until I moved houses and lost the disc. When I was 13 I'm 16 now, found the Wii and bought another copy of City Folk to play again. Apparently, even if you get a new disc for a game, the Wii will pull up the previous save data that was on the other disc. Genius for little kids that scratch up /snap discs. I was excited to walk through a town I hadn't seen since 7th grade, but when it loaded up, my excitement dissipated. I was physically and verbally abused in 7th grade, and the town was a mess of suicidal designs on the ground and depressing messages written on the bulletin board. Name of abuser, hit me again today, there's a purple mark on my back, and what does retard mean? Name of abuser, called me one today, stuck out a lot, immediately turned off the Wii and cried my eyes out. TL. Doctor, revisited an old Animal Crossing town I made while being abused, and it was depressing. The beginning of Assassin's Creed 2, the exchange between Ezio and Federico on top of the church roof. After having played through the Ezio collection, going back and seeing it again always brings a tear to my eye, knowing how much Ezio went through. Playing Minecraft almost every day for like 3 to 4 years and then stopping. Heard that theme song, and I got so happy. Hard to pick one. Obligatory Eris. Fighting the end in Metal Gear 2. The end of milligrams. When you find out you're essentially going to die at any random point, and when you're crawling through the microwave tunnel in milligrams. S4. The end of chapter 1 in Mother 3, keeping it vague due to spoilers. The end of Mother 2, Earthbound, where you get to walk around the entire world with no enemies and everybody has something new to say. The title screen of any new Dragon Quest or Legend of Zelda game. Always sit there about 5 minutes before actually getting into playing it. Defeating the Lich King in World of Warcraft for the first time. My scrub friends and I beating Grandmasters on Ladder and Heroes of the Storm for the first time. Cells trying to commit suicide in FF6, and also Loke's guilt about Rachel, pushing him to find Phoenix. The end of Wild Arms 5, when you find out why she is crying all the way back at the beginning of the game. The end of Wild Arms 2, when you face the true final boss, again. Vague for spoilers. The original SNES Harvest Moon New Year's Festival. There's just something so wholesome and hopeful about wishing for another great year. Back in 2004, when PlayStations had memory cards to keep your saved games. Well, I had forgotten my memory card at my best friend and had made a massive progress in GTA Vice City but couldn't save, so that I had to keep the PS2 switched on until my best friend came back from his family reunion. When my mom decided that I had been playing too long, we argued about it, leading her to just unplug my PS and take it away. That day I haven't just lost 10 hours of progress, but my entire PS for the 2 remaining freaking weeks of summer break. Fast forward 15 years, I'm an engineer now, but at what cost? The ending of The Walking Dead Season 1 game. I won't say what happens just in case someone is playing / wants to play without spoilers, but that's the first time I ever teared up because of a game. A necessary sacrifice. Still sad though. The ending of The Walking Dead Season 1 game. I won't say what happens just in case someone is playing / wants to play without spoilers, but that's the first time I ever teared up because of a game. A necessary sacrifice. Still sad though. When RuneScape was my life, about 11 years old, I had all my stuff on me and died at the haunted house like a chump. I literally sprinted to get my stuff back, but alas it was gone. I was so upset, but vowed never to let it happen again and always carry food just in case. Crystalis, NES. I don't know why this stuck with me, but during the game, there is this guy Stom who you train with in Shiren. During a raid, Stom is killed, and you warp back with magic to find him dead. Later, you go to Stom's hometown and use a magic spell change to look like him, and use animal telepathy to talk to the bunnies he herded. His favorite bunny, Deer, gives you a trinket, but then you show him that you are really Crystalis and not Stom. He asks you to avenge Stom's death for him. After you beat the game, one of the end credits is just a herd of bunnies hopping around without Stom, and I lost it. We were playing Sea of Thieves during the beta. All 4 of us were on a ship, and we had been playing for nearly 12 hours. Finally everyone else had to log off. I was the last one left, looking off into a fake sunset by myself. Then my phone went off, and my ringtone was Deference for Darkness from the Halo 3 ODST soundtrack. The combination of the sunset with the somber piano and saxophone music made me start to tear up. I haven't had time to play with any of those 3 since then, and hearing Deference for Darkness, or We Shall Sail Together makes me cry for those moments now. I will tell you a tale from the mists of the mid-90s. Back in those days, there was a gaming magazine called PC Zone, and with every edition, came a 3.5 floppy with a few shareware game demos. On one of these was a fully playable multiplayer game called VGA Planets, with a simple GUI. The idea was you started with one planet and enough resources to build a few ships, and expand to other planets. Eventually, you'd hit the other players. That's when the fun began. Myself and my 3 friends, we were about 15 at the time, began playing. Soon after, we didn't trust each other, always worried that the others were making secret alliances against you. Eventually, I decided to take action. I built several Illwind class battleships, the flagship I named the Avenger, and sent them against one of my mate's homeworlds. As Planets was a turn-based game, he could see my armada come towards him, and built a couple of ships to escape, a la Battlestar Galactica. Eventually my armada arrived. We ran the turn command, and watched as all the moves we made we calculated, determining battle results. I can't remember who was first to play next, but the 4 of us sat around my friend's IBM 286 and watched as the Avenger, represented as a little triangle, fought against other little triangles. Eventually, the gallant ship was destroyed, but the next Illwind finished the job. It laid waste to my friend's home planet. I had won. My friend was, understandably, pissed off with my unprovoked act of aggression. I felt both elated and deflated. I had won, but at what cost? Of course, being a young teen, I think I rubbed the obvious superiority of my fleet in his face. As I recall, his few ships escaped me, only to be destroyed by one of the other lads. It was the end of his civilization. Lost to the annals of gaming history. At least until today. I'll never forget that day of heroism and despair, though it must be 25 years gone. Thankfully, the 4 of us are still good friends, even though time and life have taken us in different directions. I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 15. Jesus, does anyone?